welcome to this morning's service. Um, there's been a lot going on the past 2 months in my life and many other people's lives as well. But I guess recent things, if I go in the timeline of things, is oh yeah, I was scammed. You might have seen it on my Facebook post. I might have talked to you about it too. But I was scammed by these police impersonator scammers, and they're super good at, like, yeah, they know how to do it. They do it at all. And so I started reading this book about scam me if you can, and they were a spot on textbook how they scam. And so what they do is, it doesn't matter how smart you are, your IQ, they get at your emotions. Everyone has emotions, and they know how to pick the right one. And if they hook into you, they get you into this state of mind called the ether, where you're under their control, and then they could do whatever they want. And thank goodness that it was only like 24 hours of this ordeal that I had to go through with the scammers. But and thankfully nothing was stolen either. Yeah, they took my driver's license number and my cell phone numbers, but yeah, nothing was stolen. Thank goodness. Reported it to FBI, FTC, everyone, and so it's on record. However, I just want to tell everybody here, as a public service announcement, to please be careful. They are really good. Like, they caught me one morning, and they said they were Verizon tech support fraud department, and they sound super professional. I'm sure you get these phone calls all the time, but this phone number was considered legit. It had the green stamp of approval. So I was like, oh, it must be a new member or something, or someone asking about the church. And so that's when I answered it. That's when they got their hooks in me. It's like, oh. But ever since that happened, though, ever since everything got resolved, a lot of the things that I was thinking about, like, we have gripes, right? We gripe a lot about random things, all kinds of things, about the media, about the world, about our families, about what's going on with us. All that went out the window after it was resolved. And it's so interesting how, when we compare our lives to something, it depends on where we're comparing it to. And so one of the big issues that, the media, social media especially, we compare our lives to what other people are posting online. Oh, they have a new car, new house, new success, all kinds of things, right? And then we start comparing ourselves. And then it's like, oh man, I'm barely close to that. Or like, I never achieved that. Or these kind of things start flowing in. These feelings of inadequacy, feelings of like I didn't do enough compared to what we see online and within our families or within our friend circles. And it's all about where our reference point is. I think I talked about this reference point before. And so people who haven't heard about this reference point, it's kind of like where we compare our lives to. So the example, I forgot the author's name. If I could find it, I'll share it. But this author said that, when there's the gold winner, the gold medal, silver medal, and bronze medal. And so the gold medalist is super happy because that person's on top of the world. The silver medalist is super bummed out. They're not as happy as the gold medalist. Historically, they're kind of like, oh man, I was so close, because they're comparing themselves with the gold. But if they look at the third place bronze medalist, that person's super happy too. And it's like, why are they happy? Well, they beat the rest of the world, and they're top three of the world. And so that's where they're comparing it to. It's where we compare our lives to. And oftentimes, we compare our lives to something that is unattainable or impossible even. And that's when we have to kind of reflect back on the blessings we have been receiving. And so for my case, with the scam and all the hardship that caused, and after that's all resolved, it's a bright, shiny new day. I'm not under their control. Nothing was taken. It was just huge blessing after blessing kind of mentality. Just started flowing because of where I was comparing the situation to. And so another thing that happened recently too, my father-in-law passed away on September 24th. That's my wife's father. Yes, I might have talked about him before while we were caregivers. He's 24/7 caregivers at home for about 3 years. And it was quite the challenge. However, we all got used to it over the years. And because of how much we all were giving, upon his passing, there was a huge sense of relief. Relief. It's interesting, right? But it's also other feelings too, this feeling of emptiness, because he was with us for so long, for so many of our time and energy, effort was spent on taking care of Pops. And it's this emptiness was there until we did more arrangements for his cremation and his ashes and things like that. That's when more peace started flowing in too. So now there's this immense sense of relief on top of peace of mind. And we have a great glowing smile picture in our living room, and I look at that every day, and that's like the best parts. And so the best parts start flowing, start thinking. We reminisce about the best things about somebody, no matter how hard it was at that time. It's again, where do we compare to? You know, other people I've talked to said that, like, oh man, yeah, he was a hard person, difficult, challenging, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it was very challenging. I could go on and on about how hard it was. But he's Amitama no Kami now. He's a part of our family. He gave so much. And that's what this service is about. When we do the Mitama Saishi and we're reciting the names, it's a moment when you hear that family member's name, that's when the heart connects. That's when the spirit connects. And that's when we reminisce and think about the good times, right? Fukuda family is here, Nobusuke-san. And so I bring Nob's photo with me when I go backpacking. He's in my backpack because he's my backpack buddy. I feel he's got my back, literally my backpack. And so we went to Thousand Island Lakes again, Agnew Meadows, down by Mammoth Lakes. And again, you know, every time we go hiking, something happens. And so the Garnet fire started on the second day we were there. And by the third day we were hiking out, it was reminiscent of that time when it was just, can't see anything. And it was like, oh no, it's happening again. But again, I pray to Nobu in my back. I pray to Kami-sama that things will be all right. Things will be all right. And we got out in time. By then, Mammoth Lakes was covered in blinding smoke. And there's a lot of hikers out there still in the mountains at that time. It's the Garnet fire. Yeah, and it got quite big at that time. But, you know, I felt Nobu's Mitama on my back. I felt everybody's prayers on my back. And we got out safely. So every single time, my wife says, it's like bad luck. Every time you go backpacking, something happens. But I said, no, you're comparing it to the wrong thing. And so we got back safely. No one got hurt. Had good food, caught tons of fish. And so it's like, well, again, where we're comparing it to. Where do we compare our lives to? Where do we compare our blessings to? So I hope everyone here can think about that. You know, it's just a one takeaway. Where are we comparing our lives to? And so there's a lot going on. So please choose wisely as to where we're comparing. Thank you very much.